Welcome back everyone, and today we are saying goodbye to last year's guidance cards, oracle cards, and we are taking a look at the cards I drew for myself for this year. So if you, like me, absolutely love and adore all things tarot and oracle related, please do stay tuned and we'll take a look what the cards have in store for me. Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Witch Hazel, and today we are looking at some of my favorite oracle cards. Now, at the beginning of last year, so at the beginning of 2020, I drew a few cards, and I have kept those cards with me in my planner for the full year and tried to look at them on a regular basis and remind myself of what I'm supposed to be doing this year. I did okay with that. Not great. I've got to work on that for this year, but I did okay with it. And I have found that keeping these cards on hand has been really helpful for whenever I did find myself kind of needing a little bit of guidance, needing a little bit of reassurance. It's just really nice to have this beautiful artwork at hand and a very nice little message. So, to start out with, let's see what I had for last year. So these first two are both from Alana Fairchild decks. These decks are just so beautiful. They're so gorgeous. I love the artwork, and I really like how Alana Fairchild sets up these decks, meaning the guidebooks that she gives. She generally always has a little explanation of the card, she has a meditation to work on, and she has a prayer. So it's a nice little setup if you want some structure to your oracle cards and to using them for something like maybe a morning routine, which is how I used to use them. I had a brief video on that a while back. So these are the two decks. The first one is the Kuan Oracle. Massively beautiful. All of the cards in this deck are very nice. It's a 44 card deck, and it does have the meditation and the prayer to Kuan Yin. And then I have the Crystal Mandala Oracle, and I really love this one. You're going to see the pictures on this one. It was just, I don't know, I have a hard time finding crystal cards that I think are pretty for some reason. If it's just like a picture of the crystal, I'm not interested, but these are very nice the way they did it. And does it say how many are in here? 54 cards and guidebook. And this also combines, I believe, a crystal, and then it has some sort of a Crystal Masters, Crystal Goddesses. So it has additional energy figures that you can work with each card. Now what I have done, what I did this past year and probably will do this year again, I just kind of took notes on the meditations and prayers that go with each one, and I stuck them on the back for easy reference so I wouldn't have to always look at the deck. And then I have one final card, or one final deck, which is the Mother's Wisdom deck. And this is, the artwork is all Sulamith Wulfing. And I already knew this artist. I can't ever remember the name, but I knew the artist because I love this artwork. I had several postcards with this different depictions on them. So when I saw this, I absolutely had to have it. And I believe I mentioned way back when, I have a vague memory of doing a walkthrough of my tarot collection. And this little bitty deck, this little bitty 40 card oracle deck, was the most expensive deck that I've ever bought because it was difficult to find. So I really cherish and treasure this one. And this one has for each card a picture and then a very brief little one sentence Mother's Wisdom. All right, so what did I have for this past year? From the Kuan deck, we have Spin the Silken Thread Divine. So, and there is that deck, absolutely beautiful. And I have used this one in the past. I really enjoy the message in it, and I have used it in a kind of a cleansing and clearing quasi shadow work ritual, which I am now not sure whatever happened to that, where I noted it down, but I'll have to find it again because I really enjoyed it. But this is basically choosing to release anything in your life, agreements, promises, anything that no longer serves you, anything that's holding you down, anything that does not belong to you. That's an important part that's mentioned in the guidebook, is that we often collect the energy of others, right? We know it, we feel it when we feel kind of weighed down and heavy and depressed. And very often this is because we try to help others and end up just taking on their negative energy. In addition, we give away our energy. We give away pieces and parts of ourself, our energetic self, in this mission to help others. And eventually we become unbalanced that way. So this card is all about getting rid of what does not belong to you, meaning send it back to where it belongs, and calling back those parts of you, those energetic pieces of you which may have gone off with someone else. Call those back to you, they belong to you. So that is what this card is about. So letting go of what does not serve. And then we have from the crystal deck, Angel Iahel, I don't know how to pronounce that, and Labradorite, which by the way is my absolute most favorite rock, crystal gem, Labradorite. I absolutely love it. All right, and this one was speaking about individuality, meaning discovering who you are, your unique self, your gifts, character traits, things you want to share with the world, finding clarity or more clarity on those things, and actually using them, making an active effort to put them out into the world, to project your true self. So these went really nicely together. They are let go of what is not yours, what is not serving you, find what is yours, what are your gifts, and put them out into the world. So that was what I had for this past year. And from Mother's Wisdom here, we have rest. This says, it is time for you to rest, gather yourself together in the dream world and awaken refreshed. So that was a good little reminder from these, because trying to put my gifts and skills out into the world can be very hectic, right? We can get so caught up in that we forget to rest. So this was a perfect reminder. All right, that was this past year. Let's see what I have for this year, 2021. From the Kuan Yin deck, we have Nectar of the Lotus, another lovely goddess. From the Crystal Mandala deck, we have Ascended Master Hilarion and Green Chrysoprase. I don't know that one, it's new to me. And the main focus of this crystal is discernment. Okay. Lastly, and this was interesting, this was the card I drew for Mother's Wisdom. And it is beauty. Give thanks for beauty. This beautiful world is filled with treasure and delight. But when I pulled this one, I had my eyes closed, and when I opened them again, I saw this card and was just struck by it. It just caught my attention and wouldn't let go, so I added this in. And this is awareness. It is time to shift your awareness. Miracles abound if you will open your eyes to see them. So what does this all mean for the upcoming year for me? Well, I like how we go from individuality in the crystals to discernment. So now I have theoretically spent this past year thinking about me and who I am, what I want to be, who I want to be, and all of that, finding out the true me, right? That's what was my task for this past year. So now, this coming year is the time when I have to figure out, okay, so what do I really want to do with that? I have a path laid out in front of me. I have a path I've kind of chosen already. And how do I want to progress forward? For the Kuan Yin, Nectar of the Lotus, this one also has a lot of connections then with last year's, where we were giving up what does not serve, right? And this one is all about remembering that there is divine energy and nourishment available to us always. But we have to remember to partake of that nourishment. As we go forward, or in this case, as I go forward in this year, having kind of a better grasp of myself and how I want to project that, don't forget then to take time for myself and to re-energize when needed, to remember where my source of life and energy comes from, because that is the nurturing and renewing force. If we don't acknowledge it, we're not going to reap the best benefits from it. So, both of these move very nicely from the past year, move very nicely ahead. And then the Mother's Wisdom cards, which I enjoyed, really have been helpful. I pulled these a little while ago, but they are a great reminder. Give thanks for beauty. So acknowledge all of the divine that's surrounding you, right? We've talked about that a little bit in previous videos. Acknowledge all of the beauty and all of the good things that are surrounding me, that I have in my life and that I have access to. So that's the first thing. And shift your awareness to see the miracles. So this is something that I've been trying to work on since pulling these cards. And I think it's very important that it's one thing to know that we have all of this wonder and magic surrounding us, to know it as a concept in the mind, but it's another thing to actively try and recognize it out and about in the world. So that kind of goes hand in hand with recognizing beauty. It's also a reminder to open your eyes, to look around you, because you cannot see that beauty. You're not going to see that beauty all around you. Even if you know it's there, you won't see it unless you open your eyes, unless you actively make the choice to view what's in front of you. All right, everyone, so those are my cards for the upcoming year. But what about you guys? I don't want to leave you out. So in the next video tomorrow, I am going to do a 2021 wisdom reading for all of you and asking what is the best thing that we all need to know right now. And I think I'm going to use for that my next favorite deck, which is the Gilded Reverie Lenormand deck. I used to use these quite a bit, but I haven't been doing cards in a little bit, so it will be very nice to get back to these. And again, you'll see they are very beautiful cards and very straightforward. So I'm hoping you enjoy that tomorrow. Until then, everyone, thank you very much for joining me, and blessed be.